Hey Stillwater, welcome to episode 33 of the Still Connect podcast, the show all about our amazing town, Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is your spot to plug in, hear some great stories, and feel a little more connected to our amazing community and the people in it. I'm your host, Denver Evans. I grew up right here in Stillwater, where I run my business, Stillwater Digital Marketing. Still Connect is a local, crowd-funded podcast where every week I share friendly chats with someone who's helping build community here in Stillwater. If you want to help share these local stories, consider becoming a subscriber on Patreon for early access to episodes, sponsorship opportunities, and more. Speaking of new subscribers, I'm excited to welcome our newest subscriber, Chris Duncan with Duncan Catering Company. Thanks for subscribing. Also, thank you to our current business sponsor, Renovate Stillwater.
I'm really excited about today's episode. I'm here with Grace Impson with Stillwater Chamber of Commerce. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Denver?
Good. So tell us about what you do at the Chamber.
Yeah. So I started at the Chamber right out of college, graduated from Oklahoma State, and I've been here now a little over 3 years, but I'm the Director of Marketing and Events. So I kind of oversee our social media and the marketing that we put out, but we have a full-time communications coordinator that writes everything, designs everything. She puts out our newsletters that you guys might see. And then a lot of my job is planning our events. So if you're unfamiliar with the Chamber, we have monthly events. We'll do a luncheon once a month. So I plan that. And then we have a networking night once a month with a business. A business will host. And so I help them coordinate that. And then we have some other events throughout the year, like we just had a golf classic last week. So we have that. We have annual awards gala, bunch of fun stuff. So I just make sure all those things happen.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very exciting.
So how long have you been doing that?
I started in the events role probably a year and a half ago. At first, I was just like communications and marketing. But I really have loved taking on this additional piece. I feel like the events and the programming we provide at the Chamber is probably one of the best things that we have to offer to our members.
Very cool. So maybe for people who are less familiar with the Chamber, give us kind of a big picture of who the Chamber is, what their role is in Stillwater, what they do for businesses.
Great question. I think it's so multifaceted what chambers of commerce do, and I had no idea until I started working here. But our boss, Elaine Zanotti, our president and CEO, she likes to refer to us as the front porch to the business community. So if you are a business, you can be a one-person small business, or if you're a huge business with hundreds of employees, you can join the Chamber, and we're just kind of a resource for you. So if you need something, we don't always know that we can provide that, but we are pretty sure we can connect you with the right person. So first and foremost, a resource, and then after that, your membership dues cover a little bit of promotion. We have an online directory, so all of our members live on our online directory. If people call us, which they do all the time, and ask, who should I hire for digital marketing, we'll recommend you. We only recommend people who are part of our organization. And then we provide programming. So like I said, we'll do different events. A lot of times you'll hear from community leaders at our events. This month we're going to have President Hess from OSU. But then oftentimes we'll also have we'll bring in programming that we think could help small businesses. So we had an AI program. Next year, we're going to try to do a safety program. So cybersecurity, but also your physical location, what you can do to be secure there. And then we have a few other things for students to get involved in. We have committees that you can join if you have something you're interested in.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about the committees.
Okay, yeah. We have 5 committees here. We have a government affairs committee. That's the committee that I do. So shameless plug, join the government affairs committee. But we kind of work closely with local legislators. We get to meet with them, which is fantastic. And we get to share with them what we think is really important, specifically for the business side of legislation. We don't really touch on social issues or things like that, but we focus on things that can affect being a business owner. And then we have other committees as well. So we've got a young professionals committee that's 20 to 40 years old. They do a lot of what the Chamber does, but just only for young professionals. And then we have an agribusiness committee. They do a lot. If you are in ag banking, ag real estate, ag insurance, or if you just appreciate ag, if you've grown up on a farm, this would be the committee for you. They just do a lot of events for the community that are ag related, a lot to do with children and getting them involved. And then we've got an economic development committee. So they hear about some of the new businesses that are coming to town, and they kind of get to give maybe their advice or input on how we should conduct these visits or what these businesses might need or who we should connect them with. So our committees all meet monthly. We have the ambassadors committee as well, which Denver's a part of. These are kind of like our chamber cheerleaders, so they'll go and visit businesses for us.
Call me a cheerleader.
Yeah, I am, and you're great. You're a great one. So they visit businesses, they promote us, they come to our ribbon cuttings. They're just really supportive. So yeah, all of our committees meet monthly. That's another thing you can join if you're a member. But that's a very long answer of what the Chamber of Commerce is.
Well, you guys do so much, and I feel like it's sort of an iceberg situation. You see the top, you don't see everything that's underneath. Yeah. All the things that are going on in the background. I think a lot of people see the Chamber, and they maybe think that the Chamber is supposed to market local businesses, which isn't necessarily their job, right? It's to generally support commerce in the community.
Yeah, exactly. I think we kind of do like a Mythbusters thing where it's like, because you join the chamber, does that mean your business is going to be successful? False. But we want you to be, and we want to do what we can to make you be successful. But we know that that's kind of ultimately on the business owner. But we try to provide things to help them.
Yeah, and if a business needs help in a certain area, like you mentioned, digital marketing, but if they need some sort of service
we'll
in tandem with their
connect.
business, then you kind of help be that connector. But you guys also work on some other big projects around town, right? So tell me about some of those. Yeah,
so we have, through the Chamber of Commerce, we have a contract with the city of Stillwater. And so they contract us to do economic development work. So we have a director of economic development, Carrie, and she goes and she works alongside the Department of Commerce. Mm-hmm. But if people are interested in moving their business here, they'll send us an RFP. And then Carrie goes through a process. So hopefully sometimes we can get them here to visit Stillwater. And we work with so many other organizations to make these visits possible, like the city, like Visit Stillwater, the airport. But we just show off everything we have to offer. And we hope that they want to come here. But we don't. We look for certain businesses. We want people that we think fit our culture and our needs. So we don't answer maybe every single one, but yeah.
That's cool. So what do those visits look like? Do like chamber staff give people tours of the community?
So depending on what the needs of the businesses are, the chamber staff might come in. Specifically if they wanted to talk about marketing, I'd probably visit with them.
Right.
But really they're really fun. So they'll come in, they'll fly SWO, they'll fly right into Stillwater because we want to show that off. And we want them to know this is available for you if you have a business here. And then we'll take them to all the great spots to eat, show them around town. A lot of times we'll have them meet with other business owners so that they can actually ask what it's really like to do business here. And we kind of try to stay out of those conversations just because we don't want them to feel like we're,
Of course. Yeah. They don't want you to go, Stillwater's great. Stillwater's amazing.
Exactly.
Trust us.
We don't want to be like that. So we kind of let the businesses speak for themselves. And then they'll do that, and then they'll also meet with the city so they can ask questions about utilities, anything that the city might have that would affect their business. They can get those questions out. If they're going to need to build and they want to talk about coding or whatever, those kind of logistics, they can talk about that. And that's kind of what it looks like. And then maybe they'll come back again and again. And typically this process takes years.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, that sounds like a good experience for them. And I think that's a really great sort of service that you all provide in helping connect larger businesses to Stillwater, or any business that's wanting to come into Stillwater. That's
and exactly really cool. What you said. We really just want to support and expand the economic prosperity of Stillwater. So that starts with bringing people in, but it also starts with helping who we already have here. And so another part of economic development is meeting with people who already do business here and saying, do you need anything? Like, what's going wrong?
And that's kind of part of the ambassador committee. And
it's exactly what they help us do. Just because we want to keep everybody happy, Stillwater is so successful because of all of the businesses, large and small. So we have to do our part.
Yep. It's no one business holding everything up.
That's right.
That's great. So what are some of the projects that you guys are working on right now? You guys are involved with the Hub?
Yeah, we are involved with the Hub. Super excited about that. I started here in 2022 at the beginning in February, and it felt like the entire year that I was here, we kept saying 2025 is going to be the best year ever. 2025, we're getting the Hub, we're getting the airport, we're getting Block 34. So now we're here. We're at 2025, and it's super exciting. And we are getting all of these exciting things, but the Hub is almost done. We're working with them on how they want to do kind of their opening, their ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to have maybe an opening, soft opening just for their tribal community, which is really cool.
Nice.
And then after that, we'll do some kind of chamber event there. But we are helping them with hiring. We're helping them just with marketing and what we can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a project that we did exactly what I said. We brought them here. We let them tour Stillwater, and ultimately they decided that they wanted to have a home here.
Very cool. That's exciting. Yeah. So you're a Stillwater local.
That's right.
What kept you here?
Okay. This is a great question. So yeah, I born and raised in Stillwater. I loved living in a college town, but I didn't know that until later.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. I had a great childhood growing up. I talked to my husband a lot, who's not a Stillwater local, and I compare the differences between where he was raised and where I was raised, and I just keep thinking, wow, I'm so lucky. But I maybe didn't know that at the time. And so my parents, when I was 18, they said, if you want to go to college, that's great. You can go wherever you want. We're not going to hold you back, but you can't go to OU. You cannot go to Norman. So I went to OU, which...
Wow, so rebellious.
Yeah, so crazy. And that lasted 6 months.
Oh.
And it was weird. Like, I really did like it. There were things that I loved about it, but there were things I noticed. Like, I lived on the 12th floor of my building, and I would get on the elevator, and nobody would ask, what floor are you on? Right? Like, nobody's like... Just simple things that I feel like everybody does here.
Yeah.
You're walking on campus, and it's like maybe people will wave or smile at you, but not really. You're going into a building, and nobody's holding the door. Like, it just wasn't the same. And I think since I grew up here, I had this very clear idea of what college was going to be like. It was going to be like OSU.
It was going to be like OSU.
Yeah. And I wasn't getting that experience. And so the hardest call I ever made was to my mom to be like, you were right. I was wrong. I have to come back. But she was so happy. And so I came back, and best decision I ever made. Got to then experience college here, which was so different than growing up here. And I loved it. And then I met my husband, who happens to be the world's biggest OU fan. I just can't get away.
Unfortunate,
yeah. But we were going to move. We were ready to move after we got married. And he's like, I love it here. I want to stay here. You convinced me. So now we're good. We're locked in. But I think that's just the magic of Stillwater, when you can convince the world's biggest OU fan that this is a magical place to live. It makes you want to stay. And I think there's a part of me that was like deciding, what do I want to do with my career? And ultimately, it came down to, I want to do something for the place that raised me, basically. And so now I feel like what I'm committed to is this.
I know. I'm really curious. So my 10-year high school
reunion
is this weekend.
Okay.
This weekend, not the weekend, of course, that this is coming up.
Okay.
But it's coming up, and so I'm really curious to hear, because you and I both know that most of the people who grow up in Stillwater go, "Oh, I want to get out. I want to get out. This is such a small town. This is whatever." But then we know all of these people who have come back. Like, didn't even Elaine leave and come back?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Will Joyce, our mayor, left and came back.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people in our community who have been like, oh, I went somewhere else, and then realized I
Yep.
I really like it more here. And so I'm curious to hear those 10-year stories.
Well, and I'm curious for when they get here and they see just how much it's changed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, the additions that we're bringing here are life-changing. Block 34 is it's going to be life-changing for the kids who grow up here and the families. And so I'll be curious to see what they think about all of that.
Yeah. It'll be really cool. We'll see. Good. We're going to get to, we're doing the homecoming game.
Okay.
And then the next morning we're getting a tour of the new high school.
Awesome. I was going to ask you. Okay.
Doing a couple of other things like that. So
cool.
It'll be cool. Just seeing, everyone's opinion and also just how many people show up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. You graduated in 17?
Mm-hmm,
okay,
that's right.
That's what I thought. Yeah, so I was 15. So you got yours coming up in a couple of years.
Yeah, Bree and I have been talking. Bree works here at the Chamber, and we graduated together, and we're like, okay, we're going to have to plan something really cool. Maybe we can convince some people to move back, or maybe we can convince some people to bring their businesses here, hopefully.
Yeah. Seriously. I'm actually planning on doing an interview with one of my old classmates who I was really good friends with, and so we're trying to find a venue for that.
Yeah.
But hopefully that'll be an exciting conversation.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, good.
So, from a chamber perspective, from your experience with the chamber, what are some kind of hidden gems, fun facts about Stillwater, things that you feel like you've seen on this side of it that you maybe didn't have as just a resident?
Yeah. I think that when you grow up here, you have your version of Stillwater and what you do in school and high school and where you hang out. And then working here, I thought I knew everything. Mm-hmm. Actually, I was sure that I knew everything about Stillwater. And then every single day, it was like I learned something else that surprised me or that I didn't know. And so I would say working here, I've gotten the opportunity to see a lot of things that I never thought I would see. But the one thing that I've been so impressed by that I would just love to praise is the city staff. I spend time at City Hall, but I've toured the waste management facility. Okay, like disgusting.
Yeah.
Where the trash, all of that gets handled. I've been there, and just the work that they do to make sure everybody has a happy and healthy life here is really impressive, from top to bottom, starting with the mayor all the way to the utilities office. I cannot be more impressed. And that was one thing I had no idea about until I started working here.
Very cool. Well, to wrap this up, any final thoughts about why Stillwater why Chamber?
Why Chamber?
This is your opportunity to plug as hard as you want to plug.
Great. Well, I would say if you have questions about the Chamber, or if you I think that there are some misconceptions that maybe the Chamber is exclusive. It's for big businesses. It's for bankers. But we really want to be a place that can celebrate and support any business. But if you have questions, we do monthly. We sit down and we do a member benefits class. We go over everything that your membership fee would cover, all the things we can do for you. So I would recommend coming to that.
So people don't have to be members to come to that.
Yeah. We'd actually love for you to be a prospective member, somebody who's just interested, and we'll answer all your questions. And see if you want to get plugged in with us. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is just head to our website. We have our events calendar, and anybody can come to our events. It's just a little cheaper for chamber membership. So if you see a program that you're like, I could really use that, come to our events. We'd love to see you there.
And then YPS events are usually free, right?
Yep. Yeah. Young professionals events are typically free. They often work with nonprofits, so it's a great opportunity to hear about a nonprofit. Why Stillwater? The nonprofits here are amazing. That's a whole nother episode. But
hey, we can talk about it now. We don't have to wrap up yet.
Okay. Yeah. So the community is just insane. But we love our nonprofits. And so, YPS does a great job highlighting them.
Awesome. Are you involved with any nonprofits?
Yeah. So I currently, I just joined a little earlier this year, the board for the Mission of Hope, which is the only homeless shelter in Payne County. And it is an incredible organization that I knew nothing about until I joined the board. And I'm really excited about where the mission's going. And I think serving on this board has been one of the most challenging things I've done in my career so far, but the most rewarding.
So why challenging?
Just, I didn't know about the need of this community. So oftentimes the mission is full, like at capacity. I didn't know that was a problem that Stillwater was facing. And so now realizing that, one, we need more space. I think this is an issue that unfortunately is probably going to get worse before it gets better. So challenging in a way of how are we going to make this work and how can we help as many people as possible? And then also, how can we support our staff? Because what they do, I could never do that. So yeah, being a director, being on a board, you kind of carry that. And so yeah, it makes you grateful for what you do, but it makes you really grateful for where you live.
So how can people get involved or support?
Okay, I love this question. We're actually trying to figure out if we could house a list of nonprofits that need more volunteers or more board members.
So we being
the chamber.
The chamber.
Yep.
Okay.
But we don't have that list put together quite yet. But if you go on our website in November, I think it's November 16th, but don't quote me, we are hosting an event called Board Ready. So we'll be bringing in a speaker from the Center of Nonprofits in Oklahoma City, and he's just going to talk about being a good board member, how to read a budget sheet, what is your fiduciary responsibility as a board member. But then they're also going to have some people there that may need more board members. So if you aren't plugged in with somebody, that'd be a great time to find somebody to get plugged in with. But
that's really cool. I feel like, and of course this is just from my perspective as a young professional, but boards can sometimes seem a little bit intimidating.
Super intimidating.
Because you don't understand what your responsibility is. I've worked with several different nonprofits, and I know that although there are some similarities across boards, depending on the needs of the organization, you can have completely different responsibilities. And depending on what the ratio of staff to board members are, what all is being carried and who's carrying it. So that sounds like a really good event.
It's going to be fantastic. And I would definitely encourage people. I for sure felt like they don't need me on their board. I don't bring anything to the table, right? But really, everybody kind of does. I feel like, I help a little bit with their Facebook, but I've helped them get connected with things at the city. Yeah. And then we have an accountant, and she helps with our budget. And then we have people who help fundraise and ask for money. So there is a place for you. And if you have something that you're already interested in or passionate about, then Stillwater probably has a nonprofit that works with that population.
Yeah. You don't have to be a business person to be deeply involved with a nonprofit. And you also, I think people really undervalue their own network.
Absolutely.
Because, really, we're all just one big web.
Yep.
We're all connected to hundreds, if not thousands of other people in some deep ways and some really small, insignificant ways. But I think anytime there's a nonprofit in need, don't undervalue that you can provide something for them or that you can help to get them connected to a resource that they deeply need. And
don't undervalue that the one connection that you make is really important. Yeah. If you only do one thing for them, that's still, they're forever grateful. Yeah. The nonprofit community in Stillwater is, I think, unmatched. Yeah. And we've even seen this from a business perspective. Like when you said you helped out with their Facebook a little bit, like we had a client one time who we were just doing some local interaction. So just interacting with local businesses from their page. We liked a post. That person contacted that business and ended up spending thousands of dollars. Wow. So imagine, from a business or a nonprofit perspective, if you go and help them make a couple of social media posts and someone sees it and then they end up becoming a donor. Right. It's worth it. Yeah. It's always worth it. Yeah, it's always worth it. And there's just, I really do believe that if you have something that interests you, there's somebody that's working on it in Stillwater, for sure, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. No one's an island. Yeah, no. You're never the only person who cares about something. Yes, which is so exciting. Like there's nearly, unofficially, 50,000 people in Stillwater, right, plus with college students. So, yeah, there's a handful at least of people who care about something as deeply as you. And most of our nonprofits probably have
less than 10 staff members.
Oh, yeah.
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 So a large nonprofit would have over 10. So like these are really small groups of people who are getting an incredible amount of work done.
Yeah. And it's a great opportunity for you to make a difference, even if it's just a small one.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a great way for us to wrap up.
I agree. Thanks, Denver. This was so fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Still Connect. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Grace. Be sure to check out the Chamber on all their social media, linked in the show notes, as well as the podcast social for highlights, updates, and more. Also, be sure to share the podcast with all of your Stillwater friends so that we can grow the podcast and our community. If you love hearing Stillwater stories come to life, I would really appreciate your support on Patreon. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can help grow the podcast, plus get early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes looks, and a shout-out on the show. Higher tiers let you submit questions for upcoming guests, receive podcast merch, and even appear in an episode yourself. Every bit of support helps grow the community and keeps local stories front and center. Together, we can keep Stillwater connected, one conversation at a time. And with that, I would like to shout out our Stillwater patron, Darren Huddleston, as well as our business sponsor, Renovate Stillwater. And remember, we all need community. So even when life gets busy, make sure you still connect.